we're so spoiled with. One thing for Stanford as well is they've gone early on. They've been very aggressive early, but you see UC Davis trying to get the first shot on. That one from Kason Goodman, but Schnebley is there to make the save.
And that's who you're going to want to watch if you're not familiar with Davis soccer. Kason Goodman is the guy, and this is not just this year. This isn't just the last couple years. He is historically one of the best goal scorers, one of the best point scorers in Davis soccer history.
Kason and Luke, the two captains for the Aggies this year. Yeah, you talk about the great finish to the season last year. And you look again up and down this roster, all the seniors that are here. Again, shaping up to be a good season once again for the Aggies, especially when conference play gets going for them in the Big West. It's one of those interesting situations, Austin, where you get all these first place votes, but overall you still projected to finish third in your conference.
Yeah, it's a very evenly matched conference, the Big West is.
There's the throw in. Now we're going to have a whistle, and it's going to go the other way. Good defense there by Stanford, and they'll get possession.
You look at the Big West last season, and there were 5 teams that finished 2024 with 4 conference wins. Santa Barbara, Cal Poly, UC Davis, UC Irvine, and Cal State Bakersfield all finished with 4 conference wins. And Bakersfield wasn't even a top 4 team in the conference. It's a very evenly matched, very deep Big West conference.
Of course, Stanford with some good Cal State Bakersfield ties. Look no further than Jeremy Gunn, leading the Stanford program. Graduated from there back in 1993. Dangerous play in the air. Have a Stanford player down. I think we're going to stop play here. So we had a whistle up front, but still on the back end, Stanford player still down. Again, a dangerous challenge there. We had contact in the air, and now here comes the training staff for Stanford.
It was both ways. It's DeFlores that got hit in the air, going for the header, looking towards goal, and then going back the other way. There was another high header opportunity that could have had something come out of it. Lucky for both sides it didn't, but DeFlores getting some water, getting checked out a bit.
And, of course, whenever you have that situation where there could be head-to-head contact involved, they're going to stop play, make sure everyone's okay. You even saw Schnebley. He's up here now by center pitcher. He was asking one of the side officials what exactly was the call. An officiating crew that has John Motto, your referee. Dwight Maloney is assistant referee 1. Samuel Perlman as well will be your other referee for today. A free kick coming from Stanford. Groeneveld will be the one taking it. Sending it forward. And that's headed out by UC Davis.
Teams just feeling each other out so far. No real scoring opportunities. It was Saul Teckel, who we mentioned, the reigning JC Player of the Year, that had the biggest opportunity. He was going down the right flank. It was through pass that just couldn't find him. But a little more of nothing for both of these squads so far.
Again, what I mentioned before, Stanford has been pretty aggressive early on, too, in matches this year.
First goal of the year came less than 90 seconds into the season. That's crazy. There's no feel-out period 90 seconds in.
Would you say that's starting off the year with a bang? Does that yeah. Qualify for that?
Yeah.
Pretty good defense there on this near side. That's Carson Hammond. Both of these programs so successful at developing and sending players to that next level in the pros. It's been 3 years in a row now for UC Davis where they've had a professional signee. Last one, of course, was Keegan Walwyn-Bent, who signed with the Town FC of MLS Next Pro. Tackle now with it, trying to get control, and it's going to go down, and that foul's going to be charged to Zach Bohane.
Bohane was trying to make the push already, trying to go towards the cage, and tackle was handling, got tripped up. It was right on his left ankle, it looked like, that Bohane got tangled up with him.
And tackle from Las Positas Junior College. Austin told you about his very impressive resume that he brings up to Northern California. Ball headed in past the far post, now cleared away for the time being by Stanford. Good first touch by the guard. Here comes Fletcher Banks sending it forward. Stanford now trying to find that counter. Here comes the second ball cross, but good job, heads up play by Hammond once again. Now Stanford starting to open some things up offensively. Lot of room right now. Heading towards the top of the 18. There's a nice pass inside, and I think Bohane was looking for someone to make a move, but no one there.
And both of those chances there, you're not upset about if you're the Cardinal. Good looks both times. You get the ball back quickly. You handle well, especially outside the 18. The plays in the box will come with how skilled and how comfortable this Stanford team already is with each other. They'll come together as long as you're getting the opportunities.
And you see, too, the other side of it. While UC Davis did have the first opportunity in this one, Stanford's making them really earn for it right now. It's just hard to have possession in that middle part of the field early on. Now on this far side. A little 15-on-15 action. Kaysen Goodman with it. The ball sent in, pretty dangerous ball, but punched away. Stanford was all over it. Bohane goes down with Stanford still in possession. Weak pass, that's turned away. Now Hammond making the move. Good job there by Tacony Gradius to slow things down for the Aggies. And again, a good physical defense all the way out to that sideline. It's going to be a throw-in for Stanford.
Yeah, that's textbook from Tacony Gradius. One-on-one on the outside. He keeps his feet strong. The attacker kind of tried to slide past him, maybe trying to draw a foul, and Tacony Gradius just did not give way.
And so Stanford team with, in those 3 wins, only 1 goal allowed in each one. So even though you've seen the phenomenal saves in those key moments, Rowan Schnebley, it's also just what they're doing before the shots go up as well has been as impressive early on.
And I think, you know, as much as you can kind of raise your nose at this, Rowan Schnebley wants that first clean sheet. He's still waiting
right.
for that 0, right? You want the shutout, and he's hungry for it.
Here's Sackle, good ball over to him, trying to send it in and went off of the foot of the defender Palmer Bank. Did Stanford keep that in? No, they did not. So we're going to have a corner coming up for UC Davis.
But good aggressive defense by Palmer Bank, collapsing on the offending player tackle. You know he's going to try to shoot. It was an entry pass that time, and still Bank got his foot on it.
UC Davis, number 10, Ian Nanton.
Again, I think that was Kaysen Goodman who sent that ball into tackle. It's a phenomenal
Corner kick.
through ball heading him on.
Saul Tackle.
So Naganathong is right there in the corner with the aforementioned Saul Tackle. Sent in, now sent away. Stanford, will they counter? Here they come on this near side. Fletcher Bank with it. Good pace so far. To the middle, Bohane. Now Stanford on the other side with it. Good ball going forward, but it was poked away just a bit by Banks. And Stanford now will have a corner.
What a push there. Fletcher Bank, full speed ahead. End line to end line, he didn't stop. He just kept going.
Sent that one over to Chow. Now Chow will be the one taking the corner for Stanford. Right in front of the accolades of this men's soccer programs you see over there. So many of those coming in the 14 years that Jeremy Gunn has been at the helm. Here comes Chow. Near post. Looked like Stanford might have gotten a head on it. but couldn't get it on goal.
Really good look. I think that was Groneveld that got in there. And actually, no, excuse me, it was Taconi Gradius that got his head in. And it was close, just a little wide right, past the outside post.
Alfonso early on in this one's 10 minutes in, but we see him trying to make an impact box to box, really. Now there's the goal kick, and it's going to be sent out of play. Officials say UC Davis will still have it. Such an exciting time in college athletics. Obviously, it's the big week 1 in college football. Some big volleyball matchups have been going on. Some exciting action right here, too, in Kagan. And sent forward, nobody going to get there as it goes out. It'll be a goal kick here for Stanford.
That's right about that time when everyone's students start getting to campus and the weather starts to change a little bit. It smells like college athletics season.
One thing that's so impressive, too, I know we talked about how the good atmosphere that's here. For Stanford on that quarter system, so you're still a few weeks away from students being here, but with this turnout that you have tonight, you really couldn't tell.
No, definitely not. And even past that, I think sometimes in the non-conference schedule, just in terms of like the age demographic, it's a lot of older, parents of players, things like that. But there's a good amount of younger college-age fans here, which is really cool to see. They're invested in this program.
And to your point, of course, that's going to even pick up, as you know, when conference play. Stanford, of course, in the very tough ACC. But they're set up to compete. Again, a lot of that returning talent, the best recruiting class in the conference last year. A lot of those young players already making an impact. This one headed over to Chow. Hammond's complaining. He thinks he got pushed in the back but doesn't get a call. Chow now on it. A good turn, but right there again was Hammond, and he'll go down and earn the call. Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again, says Carson Hammond, and he gets the whistle.
He was aggressive, give him that. Really wanted the call and got it the second time.
You saw the talent there, Jack Prim. Had a good turn to beat the initial defender, but I don't think he saw Hammond there. Now we're going to have a stoppage play here. This is the second time as we get ready for this goal kick that John Mato has told goalie for UC Davis to move back a bit to take this kick. But now he's satisfied, and we'll resume play. All in the air. Now Stanford in control. Here's Chow. We've seen him on both sides already early on in this first half. That goes out of play. Again, you see the physicality that Carson Hammond brings on that defensive end.
And how about it from Chow, too? Because Carson Hammond's listed at 6 foot. Alex Chow is just 5'6". I don't think anyone can tell him that.
Some good footwork and handle, but a little too strong on the cross, as that'll head out of play. Now Stanford will have the throw, taking his Palmer Bank. And the high pressure being showed by the Aggies. Long throw. Bohanger's going to send it forward. And now Stanford's going to show pressure themselves. Here's this a loose one. Can Stanford get control? There's one touch. And it goes right to the goalie. But I tell you what, Fletcher Bank almost had a hard-earned opportunity there.
He was fighting the entire way. Gavin House was draped all over him, and still, it was Bank, again, going end line to end line, just fighting. Look at him, still takes like a half-second breather, and then is full speed.
And there's a good job there defensively by Stanford. Groneveld was over there, made sure there was no further play that could be done, and lets it go out for a goal kick. And yeah, you talk about there with Fletcher Bank, and what was so impressive on that too, I know it was a tough touch there right towards the end, But he had one touch there to get it towards his right foot in the middle of two Aggie defenders. Almost had a setup there to make this 1-0 Stanford. Cardinal again send it forward. There's Chow using that 5-6 frame Austin was talking about for position. And a little meg action. Bohane now with it. Going to send it to Chow. Can he get that ball in near post? Ball still in, headed around, and we're going to have a whistle. It's going to be on Stanford. And I'll tell you what, that ball is just floating around in the box for a minute, Austin. You thought that Stanford was going to come down with it.
And I think to some extent that speaks on how good they've been, is you just expect those to go Stanford's way with how dominant they've been forever. Feel like if you get more of those chances, they're going to start to fall eventually. And Stanford, opportunities-wise, has dominated the first 15 minutes of this contest.
Yeah, the possession definitely feeling like it wants to shift one way. That's that facing towards Stanford's offensive zone. Zahaver once again, good footwork there, Jack Prem. How fun is it going to be watching him the next few years?
Yeah, he's special. He is incredible. Just the energy that happened when Pim scored his first goal was unmatched.
Number 20, Alex Chow.
And Chow again going to take the corner. The Stanford team finishing 9-5-6 a year ago. And had their 11th NCAA tournament appearance. Again, a near post ball. It's still loose. There was a big swing there, but it swung over the top by Partal. And that's going to be sent away to slow things down there by Palmer Bank.
Love the opportunity, though. There was a big swing from just above the 18.
There's the throw in, and we had some contact, and going down is Cole Powell. And we're going to get the whistle there on Jack Pim.
Yeah, it was Pim on the foul. Powell was right in front of him. As soon as he felt that contact, dropped to the turf. Smart offense from Powell.
Well, it only shows 2 shots right now compared to 1 for Stanford over UC Davis. Again, as we talked about, a lot of the momentum, and it feels like a lot of the good opportunities to put shots up have really been heavily more leaning Stanford's way early on.
Definitely. We don't have the time of possession numbers, but it's been a lot of Stanford, not a lot of Davis. And it's been a lot of that. Just Davis kind of sending their possessions away, Stanford getting to reset from the goal.
And there is a little bit of a breeze that's picking up going north to south. It's a little gust there on that free kick from UC Davis. I mean, you even saw it there from Rowan Schnebley. Looked like he thought he had a good read on where it was going to go, and it just kept sailing. Stanford again sending it forward. You see the push. Shane DeFlores with the pressure. Stanford again with it on that far side, right in front of their bench. And I believe we got a foul called on UC Davis.
But still, such a good sign, even though that single possession didn't result in anything. Such a good sign for the Cardinal that they were able to have the ball in their attacking third for that long. They're able to control. They're not giving possessions away.
They're very strong on the ball and very strong getting the ball back. That's really what we've seen from Stanford early on, not only just in this game alone, but also early on in the season as well. Getting everything set up. Most of the bodies right at the top of the 18. A little bit of man marking here from UC Davis. The sent more so up front, but look at the hustle by Chow to try to get it back. But in the end, it's going to be Hammond sending it away.
That's terrific. I don't think you can ask for anything more from Alex Chow there. It wasn't exactly the best pass in, but he was able to get back and get possession back for his team.
Chow, sophomore, from right here in Palo Alto, California. A lot of room over here on this near side for Stanford. Now they'll move it around to the middle. There's the ball sent in. It's going to be a little too far. You saw the thumbs up there from Zach Bohaney. He knew exactly what they were looking for. And thought that was a pretty good ball in.
Again, good look, good opportunity. What comes next is finishing it. But good early returns for the Cardinal.
Yeah, pretty satisfied. They have to be pretty satisfied with their play. Almost first 20 minutes in. And trying to get possession back. Stanford gets it. So good job there by Dylan Groneveld. A lot of contact that was in there. He had to sustain. And a strong ball down the line. You see the contact, and it's going to go out of play. Good job defensively there for UC Davis. That's Gavin House.
This Aggie team has been super, super physical defensively, really on both sides of the ball. But defensively, you've got guys getting back and defending quickly, even when the ball's in their attacking third. They're able to retreat and seal off angles from the Cardinal.
One thing you talked about, Austin, in the pregame is UC Davis coming in with nothing to lose. And I think a lot of times that's usually what you see when there is that sense of urgency, right, from a team coming in. You want to establish that tempo, establish what sort of physicality it's going to be, and that's really what you've seen UC Davis in a lot of these 50-50 balls do early on.
And they've played really well through their first 3 matches of the year. Their record doesn't show it. You go 0-1-2, but they've played 3 really tough opponents, San Francisco, Santa Clara, and Washington. Especially going up to Seattle, playing Washington, you're able to get that one into a draw. And then you look even further, and Davis has led late in each of their last 2 contests. A little bit of bad luck at the end. They outshot their opponent in Washington, but again, they're playing really, really well overall.
Playing well, but also playing on some new upgrades as well when they'll be at home this year. Of course, they had that big expansion project, I think $4.4 million between soccer stadium and also baseball up in UC Davis. They got the permanent home lights now. And there's a takeaway. Nothing there going after that. So Palmer Bank does a good job to take it away from Carson Hammond. Still playing it to the officials there. He thinks he should have gotten a call.
Hammond, even though he's a sophomore, you can tell he's one of the leaders on this team. He's always one-on-one against someone attacking from the Cardinal. All Big West freshman last year. He's just a good, strong player. He does not hold himself like a sophomore out there.
Stanford will let that roll back into the box. I think just one note too, going back to that the upgrades for UC Davis. Always a good thing you see in college athletics where you have these successful programs and then the financial investments, they follow it as well. As you look here, what's going on at Stanford as well, one of the big up-and-coming programs. We talked about this early on. It's what Jessica Allister has done with softball here, of course, right to our right. That big facelift that they're doing with the softball stadium here will be done for the season in 26.
And what it tells the program is, hey, we recognize what you're doing. We're going to give back to you. That does so much for a program. I think more than a lot of people realize, just that internal kind of unspoken acknowledgement that we trust you, we appreciate what you're doing for this university.
And the other people that see it too are the recruits. They keep bringing in that top talent. UC Davis here on the free kick. And that will be Zach Lillington.
Someone whose name we surprisingly haven't said very much. He's been really good. He was a player to watch in the Big West coming into the year. And he's one of the only people that has played twice against the Cardinal in his career. 135 minutes over his 2 games against the Cardinal. Played all 90 last season when Davis only lost to this Cardinal team by 1.
And continue that on, being the Big West Tournament MVP last season as well. At 25 points in total. See, that was Kason Goodman who was the Big West Tournament MVP, but alongside of him was one of those preseason coaches team members was Zach Lillington. And 1 goal, 4 assists in his 18 starts a year ago. And that's what we're talking about for both of these teams. You see it, a lot of their top talent, those award and trophy winners, they have a lot of that coming back. And so we're going to get time out here as we're going to get a hydration break. Again, a little bit warmer than usual, even though I think if you're UC Davis, you're thinking, you know, we're used to having those 100-plus degree days up by Sacramento.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
nothing
cold.
for us.
I haven't seen a hydration break live this year, and it looked like the Aggies were not happy about having to hydrate. They were confused. I think it was Tekel coming down the right wing that thought that he had an opportunity going the other way, and then the whistle was called.
Yeah, I know obviously we're here on campus of Stanford University, but UC Davis has kind of put their palms to the sky saying, wait a minute, you're taking away our home field advantage right now.
I'm glad it's not 105 degrees right now.
No doubt.
I
No
don't know
doubt.
about you.
I think, you know, for the most part, and obviously player safety comes number one here, so you can't be overly mad at a stoppage here right now. And as we stand, 20:36 left to go here in this first half. And just one save that has been made so far, and that was really the first real attack that we saw made by Rowan Schnebley. Which, again, it was, if you look at some of the saves that he's made in this season already, relatively easy one for him.
Yeah, for sure.
And he had to make, again, 4 saves in that win against Denver. 2 of those came in the last 10 minutes.
It's impressive. That's just he's kind of got the it factor. He's got the clutch gene, whatever you want to call it. He's got aura. He's good. He's really good, and he's best when it matters the most, which is so big for this team to have a veteran back there and a guy with all of those characteristics.
I love how you hit on a good word for all generations in there too. They can understand, right?
Thank you.
Aura, you got the clutch gene. The whole every age bracket now can understand exactly what we're talking about. Signs of a true broadcaster.
Speaking to the middle, right? We're not talking to the expert. You're not talking to the novice. You're talking to
Gotta make sure you get
middle.
everyone.
Yeah.
So when the play resumes here, it'll be a Stanford throw-in on the near side. Palmer Bank with it. And he'll send it all the way back to Tenconi Gradius, who now sends it forward. That went off the head of one of the back line defenders for the Aggies, and don't know if exactly the direction he wanted. But Luke Goodman was there. And now you hear the Stanford crowd, but also some of the players that were down there looking for the call, and they're going to have it. And you can just tell, we talked about this crowd, and I know you see on the broadcast there, you see the far side, which of course here at Kagan is the smaller side of the stands. It is packed over here, and you can just tell everyone's just waiting for that one moment to erupt.
Yeah, they can feel it. Every time the ball is in the attacking third, you can feel the energy start to rise. It's a sign that the crowd understands what's going on. Always good to see.
Takeaway here in the mid-third. UC Davis. It's been so tough for them to really find a good counter opportunity the way Stanford's gotten back and repossessed the ball. But now here's an opportunity for them. Back post ball sent in. It's loose, and Stanford's going to take it away. Throw in UC Davis.
The best chance for either team so far today. That was a beautiful pass into the box, and it was headed away just enough. Schnebley did such a good job, though, to get back up and get back and ready in case there was a second attack.
And Alex Chow over there trying to plead his case, saying, like, have you not heard the broadcast? I'm only about 5'6". There's no way I'm strong enough to get that type of shove.
Yeah, you know, we hear the referee mic sometimes on challenges. When do we get us into their ears?
It's under 19 minutes now. Again, a free kick coming for UC Davis. Gonathon will take it. Sent in towards the back post. A lot of bodies over there. Dribbles back in front of the goal mouth. And we're going to have a goal kick for Stanford. A couple dangerous opportunities there for the Aggies.
Back to the point about the crowd, I think the Aggies, you know the Aggies feel that too. And you let that hate fuel you a little bit. It's always fun to play upset, to play spoiler, and especially to do it on the other team's home turf when It's a packed crowd. It's a loud crowd. It's a crowd that feels it.
And as you could mention, as you could expect, especially with the off day probably for so many at work, good bit of UC Davis fans have made that drive down south. That's going to go out of play again. Phenomenal job by Hammond over here on this near side.
It's a pretty easy drive, and the drive back feels a lot better if you take down a top 5 team in the country.
It's an even easier drive when you're doing it on a weekend, that's for sure. You don't have to worry about that rush hour traffic. And speaking of that traffic, here's Zach Lillington racing down on the left side. A good job defensively by Stanford. UC Davis, these last few minutes, they've been building.
I think they had the numbers advantage too there. It looked like it was 4-on-4, but Davis had the angle on each of the Stanford defenders.
Now some pressure, high pressure being shown by UC Davis. Or Stanford and all the talent they have in the midfield, they're very well ready to handle this as now they go on the attack. And headed away. That could have been dangerous. Fletcher Bank was out on the far side on a run. Now has it back in his possession. Sent forward, and a good ball across. Nobody home, though. For Stanford, it'll be a throw-in for UC Davis.
Fletcher Bank has been aggressive early on, and you can expect that coming off his first game without a shot in almost a year. He's hungry. He knows what his role is on this team. He knows he has the ability to score, and it feels like he's been everywhere today.
That pass there on the backside for Aggies. Now Chow with it. Trying to find some space to the middle of the box, and we're going to have anything here. Stanford wants the call. And UC Davis going forward. Looks like it's going to be a play on.
Bohane is not happy about that call, and I don't blame him. It looked like there was a good amount of contact as he was circling to his left. But he's back up and aggressive again.
Yeah, I thought he might have gotten spiked on the top of his foot, but nothing there as that's a little too strong. Again, trying to hit Tekla on this near side. And now we're going to have, appears to be our first substitutions potentially of tonight's action.
Schnebley is down right now. I think he's okay. Maybe just stretching out a little bit.
Yeah, the way he went down, and actually we're going to have a review here, but not to that point, the way he went down, I couldn't tell if that was a potential cramp situation or not, because like you said, he went down, didn't see like any false step and just stretched out a little bit. So here we are. We talked again. Zach Bohane going through the middle of the box. Looked like there was some contact there. Of course, everyone on Stanford thought that they saw it. And I think that's what we're going to take a look at right here with the officials.
This is big. 29th minute, no scoring for either team so far. And Bohane, you know what he can do with that left leg. You know what he can do, and he's got an opportunity. And to be able to get a chance out of it at the very least would be big for the Cardinal.
And I think, too, just back to the point we're talking about with UC Davis, the way they were building these last few minutes, talk about a big change in momentum there.
Yeah.
If this could be an opportunity from the spot for Stanford. And for the Cardinal, this being the last day of August, next time they're out, they'll actually be up against an ACC opponent. They'll be going to Louisville before they're back home against St. Mary's.
Such an interesting schedule to go non-conference and then go all the way to Louisville to play the Cardinals. No relation. And then come back and play 3 non-conference games and then restart conference schedule. But you love it. Welcome to the ACC. This is college soccer.
Yeah, a couple of fun road trips for the Cardinal Conference play. Louisville, Syracuse, go to Wake Forest. And then, of course, one of the shorter road trips that they can take, they go across the bay to play the rivals, Cal. How about the start for really both Stanford soccer programs on the year? You know, as we talk about it, both teams not really, they're projected to finish high up in their conferences. There was almost a good chance there, but taken away last minute. It was DeFlores who almost had it on his foot for an opportunity.
Well, you've got to feel disrespected for both squads, right? After the year that they had last year, Stanford returned so much of its talent from last year on the men's side, and the women's side had a trip to the College Cup last year, and you're picked 7th in your own conference. You feel disrespected.
And, of course, you think about it, right? The other teams that are there with you, and it's like, okay, why exactly would you be projected there? That's where the North Carolinas come in,
Right.
and so many of those other talented teams. Because remember, especially on the women's side, the ACC representation that was in that College Cup.
Not to slight any of the other teams, of course. Those are terrific teams. But, again, I think Stanford does feel slighted a little bit. And they've come out both on the men's and women's side and proven that they maybe should have been ranked a little higher coming into the year.
Needless to say, it's going to be a fun season full of a lot of entertaining soccer on both sides of the docket. As here comes Stanford, a little bit of miscommunication. And you see what happened right there was Fletcher Bank right in the middle. Now we're going to have a foul, and the Stanford fans are not happy here. You had Fletcher Bank right at the top of the box after the miscommunication between Schwengiller and I believe that was Luke Goodman. And reaching over was the goalkeeper for UC Davis when Bank was trying to possess it. So they're already not happy about that, and then you get the foul call here.
Yeah, that's a brutal swing for the Cardinal. We talked about the momentum, and it feels like now with the calls of the officials, it's going UC Davis's way again.
On far side once again, and that's Gabriel Haggerty is one of the subs coming in for UC Davis. Gavin Lapon as well. And now Stanford's going to make some substitutions. So now as we approach the or as we're in the final 15, I should say, of this first half, both teams getting some fresh legs in. So out go Bank and Flores. That's Fletcher Bank for Stanford. Trevor Islam coming in for the Cardinal.
Tomo Allen as well, a guy that is a big deal in the soccer landscape, as one of the biggest recruits in this historic Stanford class.
And again, we talked about it. This is one of those recruiting classes that is thought of as the best in the conference. You see the big effort there from Jack Pym. He's part of that.
And Islam, in his own right, is kind of the opposite. A walk-on that already has a brace this year. It's so awesome to see. Anytime a walk-on does anything. You see it in the last, 3 minutes of college basketball when the walk-ons get in and everyone's laughing. No one is laughing when Trevor Islam comes onto the pitch because he's legit.
And also, just to add on to that too, right? Of course, the ever-changing landscape that is college athletics nowadays, where you have a lot of sports where because of roster situations, they actually go away of some of the walk-ons. So when you do have those moments, it makes them even more special. And Tomo, good challenge to keep possession in the middle of the field. Sent forward, Chow. That was sent away, and now UC Davis trying to forward it once again. Bohane just throwing his body at will, trying to do whatever he can to get possession, but UC Davis ultimately comes up with it. And that's got some strong pace to it, but being able to chase it down is Hammond. It seems so under control.
Yeah.
This Hammond is a sophomore. And now a little bit of trouble for Stanford. That's in the box. There's a whiff. And again, they're saying play on. A lot of contact being allowed here tonight.
I do think Haggerty, though, just missed it.
I think it was a whiff, yeah.
Yeah. Which sucks for him because it was a really good opportunity. He had a good look at the cage, just couldn't convert.
You're definitely seeing this start to open up some more as we get closer to halftime. Davis again on the attack. Beats the first defender. There's a shot, and it goes wide, just missing that near post. Or Schnebley just making sure of it. Goal kick coming.
It was Naganathong all the way handling by himself, going down that left flank. And he made a couple really nice stutter step moves couldn't get past his defender who knocked it away once, but then had that opportunity at a shot, just couldn't get it in towards the cage.
Stanford with possession, going forward. You see the strong physical defense, and it's a little too strong. And there is Lillington. Again, a big physical presence in the middle for UC Davis, but she's using a little too much of that strength there.
The senior Lillington, the freshman Tomo Allen, it's the freshman that wins. Love college sports, man.
And isn't that exactly what it seemed like? You know, one guy's already been in a college program for a few years. You got the grown man strength. So an intriguing opportunity right here for Stanford.
Let's see. I mean, this isn't a gimme by any means, but it's definitely a chance.
And you have Partal and Bohane standing over the ball right now. Four-man wall up front for UC Davis. Partal's going to send it towards the back post. They get the second ball in, and it's kept inbounds by Stanford. They can't get a second ball in. And now UC Davis with it here on this near side. Haggerty sends forward, but it goes out of play. Another throw-in coming for Stanford. As we talked about what they have coming up. Well, after this for UC Davis, they'll have St. Mary's back up north on Wednesday before they're going to go to Utah, go up against Utah Valley. Sent forward once again, and Chow, the smart decision to let it go.
You can see, though, why this UC Davis team was regarded so highly coming into the season. And they've played, again, really, really tough competition early on and just haven't been able to get that elusive first win, but they're good.
Yeah, the only two teams that received more points than them in those preseason polls, UC Santa Barbara and Cal Poly.
And they finished just outside the top 50 in the RPI last season. Of course, that late season push really helped them, but it's a really, really good program out at Davis.
Good program, and then, of course, on top of that, as we've been talking about, a really good conference as well, very well respected. As we are still deadlocked at 0 here. Good run and effort to keep that in play, but a heavy touch, and once again you see Carson Hammond is all over it. A good deep to buy some space. So he's shown a little bit of everything so far, but a little too strong on that kick that goes out of play for Stanford to have possession again.
It's been really evenly matched too. Stanford had a good amount of chances early. They didn't get any shots off, but had some opportunities inside the attacking box early on. And then for about 10 minutes there, it felt like it was UC Davis that had all the chances. And since then, it's been kind of just a chess match. Nothing really giving for either squad.
And then where there has been that little glimmer of an opportunity, neither team yet able to take advantage of it. Can't wait to see who will be the first to do so. As now Liam Doyle comes in, and so does Jude Stone. Partal and Chow go out. Well-deserved water break, to say the least, for Alex Chow.
He's fun. Just a really, really good all-around player.
And you've seen him all over left, right, in the attack. On defense, trying to repossess the ball for Stanford. But speaking of repossession, UC Davis now with it. Now playing forward is Hammond on this right side. And now send it back to slow things down.
And if you're Doyle, you sit for 40 minutes, and then all of a sudden, good morning, here's Carson Hammond right out of bed. I mean, that's a tough matchup to go up against.
Yeah, the Big West all-freshman selection from a year ago, and that's going to be a push in the back by Haggerty. But you look into it and you talk to a lot of people around the UC Davis program. As a good of a first year that Hammond had, they expect him to take such a big leap this year. And I'd say so far with what we've seen, I think he's up to the task.
He's been fantastic. He's kind of like Chow, he's been everywhere. It feels like every single play you look up, and there he is.
A lot of room for Stanford on the left side if they could get over here. Looked like Palmer Bank was trying to call for it. Stanford in the middle. Send it towards the box. We're going to have a whistle here. And oh my goodness, that's a little unfortunate. Stanford looked like they had a good opportunity to put one towards the goal.
Yeah, that is brutal for the Cardinal. Right at the top of the arc, just above the 18, prime position. And instead, you got this.
Yeah, that's going to be not a very favorable call, to say the least. Well, nonetheless, Stanford once again going to set things up. Zach Bohane on the ball by himself this time. Sending one in, headed away. Stanford still on it. Banks sends out wide. Bohane. Good pass in. That went off the foot of an Aggie defender. It looked like Stanford tried to run it down. I think maybe during that carom, it went back off a Stanford leg. Trevor Islam, good hustle, couldn't keep it in. A tough throw right now, though, for UC Davis. Right there in that corner, you see this high pressure that Stanford has. We talked about it all along, how aggressive Stanford is when it comes to repossession, but it also helps when you get it thrown right to your foot. Bohane thinking about it, being aggressive, but it's blocked.
Love it. Try to make something happen. 3 minutes to go in the first half. Want to enter the locker room with a little momentum.
And to your point about the momentum, I think what's been so fun about this evening so far, where, again, early on you'd say Stanford had more of the momentum offensively. UC Davis had their moments where they felt like they had it. It's been very, very back and forth.
Yeah. Davis as a squad has more than held its own. The Aggies have been really, really good so far. I think there are stretches where you can say, prolonged stretches, where they've been the better team.
Yeah. But again, it goes to show you the reason why there are a lot of high expectations for both of these teams coming into the season. That's sent forward. Haggerty had it for a second. A lot of contact, and there's the whistle. I tell you, if we were about 50 steps to our north in Stanford Stadium, that would have been a very impressive tackle. That would have been allowed, but not here at Kagan.
Took me a second to kind of map that out in my head.
To our north,
like
it's
north,
over that way. Now 2 minutes left to go here in the first half. Stanford sending it forward. Islam. Back out Bohane. There was a lot of mustard on that one back to Islam, so it was a strong first touch off his foot. And it is cleared out. Throw in Stanford. Again, to your point, you see the effort that Trevor Islam has there. Yes, Hammond once again sending that away.
I think if you had told people coming into the year, through 3 games, your top 3 goal scorers are going to be Bohane, okay, check, and then a former walk-on and a true freshman, that doesn't sound right, but it's right, and that speaks to how good the depth on the Stanford team is.
As again, to your point, you think about some of the names and what they've done on their at the times in Stanford. It's definitely
1 minute remaining in the
it's definitely one of those things where, okay, you're telling me you're 3-0, and some of those guys aren't the ones that are making things happen.
You wouldn't believe it.
Especially, again, talking about that win against then number 4, Denver. Of course, we got to make sure we keep saying then number 4.
Yeah.
Because if you look up in the standings as of right now, that number 4, you'll see next to the team in black on your screen.
Yeah, they're still here. They're still playing at Kagan. Number 4 never left Kagan. It
That's
just
right.
switched colors.
Final 20 seconds in half number 1. Let's see if there's any late half magic here. As that one cleared way over to the practice fields.
8, 7, 6.
Final few seconds. Deep throw coming.
2.
Islam and a last second attempt by, I believe, Bohane, and that will do it for half number 1. A lot of good back and forth action plays there in the first half as well. Just to shout out some of the efforts that we saw as we get lined up for half number 2. And Austin will take it away with play-by-play.
Well, something interesting to note to start the second half, it's a new keeper. It's no longer Noah Schwengler. It's Makai Wilson, who made 3 starts last year, including against Stanford, held them to just 1 goal, and he will be making an appearance this year in cage for an Aggies team that's looking to pull off the upset. 45 on the clock. We are underway to start the second half.
That comes in, went to Bonita High School down in Fontana, California, Southern Cal native.
UC Davis will start with the ball. Like you mentioned, only 2 shots, but one of them on goal. The only shot on goal for either squad as Schnebley pops on that one. We had a Schnebley and a Schwengler in the first half, and I don't think we talked about that enough.
The tongue twister Olympics, if you will, in goal.
So the ball just kind of trickled right to Schnebley. Not going to count as a shot, of course. See if Stanford can get something with the ball just on the right flank. Pushing his way forward is Islam, who's going to start the second half. Came in for the final 15 of the first half.
And you talk about the hustle and how well Islam comes in and plays, especially with this highly touted freshman class coming in for Stanford. And he even pumped himself up there. You kind of like to see that little clap of the hands. You know, he was proud of his work to get that throw in for Stanford.
Bohane entry headed up and off the right post. A perfect opportunity on the header by Tomo Allen. Man.
Well, that's what you want to see if you're Stanford. You put it in a spot where only 6'3" can go get it. And it seemed like it was almost destined to get into that lower third, that lower right third that you're talking about. And just off the post. Wow. What a way to open up this half.
I think that was pretty perfectly played by the Cardinal. A beautiful, beautiful entry pass by Bohane. You think of him as a scorer, but he's got that passing game in his arsenal as well. And Allen looking for his second collegiate goal. Just couldn't find the back of the net. If that ball's, 3 inches to the left, probably takes a spin Stanford's way.
I think that's the perfect way to say it. And, I mean, it seems like no matter what sport you talk about, everyone wants to say, well, it's a game of inches. Well, in that case, soccer was also your game of inches.
Sports, right? Games are a game of inches, and that one is brutal for the Cardinal. It also went right to Makai Wilson, who just had to gobble it up, and he fell right on top of it. He was not taking any chances. I think we can say pretty easily that is the best scoring opportunity for either squad.
I think you're 100% correct. And also another thing, too, Makai Wilson, talk about welcome into the action, right? You get right in, and they always say the ball has a way of kind of finding you.
Right on cue. Wilson comes in, and you're right. I forget whose law it is. There's some philosopher or something that said the ball finds you right as you come off the bench.
One thing to note, too, is pretty interesting. Stanford's had a lot of room here on this right side on the 2 attacks, and I noticed it was Will Cleary who's in now for Stanford. He made a pretty strong run. Was a little frustrated when it didn't go his way.
Here's a chance. Look at Wilson get up. You talked on the last possession about toss it in only where somewhere 6'3" can go, but Wilson is 6'4".
Yeah.
With hops. It's a good combination.
Got some pretty good long arms, too, to give him a little extra boost.
But he's already had more action in 3.5 minutes than Schwengler did in his 45. Possession chance for the Aggies. Naganathong had to go off his left shin.
And we talked about early on, too, about how Stanford, especially early this year, they've been very aggressive. in the first few minutes of a game. Well, they're doing it also here the first few minutes of the half.
Nothing has come out of it so far. Islam had an angle, just overran it a little bit.
Oh,
and
boy.
now a chance. No offsides call, but tracking it down are the Cardinals as they set it back to Schnebly.
A good idea for UC Davis. A lot of room on that right side for Haggerty.
Here's Chow going right down the middle. Miscommunication. You can see both Bohane and Allen look at each other. I got it, you take it. Head up in the air. Not what they wanted out of that chance. Entering the 50th minute, still no scoring. And just like the first half, Stanford coming out on fire to start, but that's a perfect pass over to the far side. In towards the area, a swing shot goes wide left by Naganathong.
I'll tell you what, first off, Carson Hammond, phenomenal through ball that set that whole situation and opportunity up. And that ball in from UC Davis, I think if you were to ask them, they would hope they'd have a better one. But still, you had like maybe two different Aggie players that seemed like they'd have a chance at it. And, again, the shot just goes wide there from Naganathong.
See what the Cardinal can do. I said that the Cardinal have dominated the first 5 minutes. I take that back. Davis has looked really good to start the second half.
Man, look what they're doing now with this high pressure.
Ball goes out of bounds. Will stay with the Cardinal. It's Bohan.
Oh, boy.
A little out of sync right now is Stanford. First time we've said that so far today. Because even when they haven't been dominating the shots or the time of possession, they've still looked in sync. And all of a sudden, you saw that through pass by Chow that went past two Cardinal, and now a little bit of miscommunication again after the header. Now Stanford's got a chance right on cue. Tackled away. Bohan gets through with the left, popped out past the attacking area and out past the left corner.
There's our guy again. That's Alex Chow that sets up that whole opportunity. Again, when you see Carson Hammond down on that backside in those corners, it's been very rare he gets dispossessed. And Chow did a phenomenal job to get that to Bohane to get an opportunity.
It'll be Palmer Bank from just to the left of the corner to throw it in. High in towards the box, headed up. Wilson will track it down.
Tell you what, Tomo Allen, he was in position. It was a good physical joust in the middle, trying to get that positioning right. And tell you, nice move there in the middle too. That was Nami Banks.
Man, the Aggies are handling very well to start the second half. Again on the right side after the through pass, tackled away. Good defense by the Cardinals, goes out of touch.
I think we are in store for a very action-packed second half, the way this first few minutes has gone.
Hammond gets it into Haggerty, who gets intercepted by the Cardinal. That was Islam playing the defense, or excuse me, Allen playing the defense. It goes out of bounds, and the Aggies will get a throw-in. So already here in the second half, just 8 minutes in, Davis has already upped its shot counter. The Aggies have been aggressive on both sides of the ball. Ball headed up in Stanford's defensive third and then cleared out towards midfield. Cardinal try to track it down, but it'll go just right back to Wilson. Now coming up on it is Islam. Good handling in the cage by Wilson. Bohane strips it away and then gets tugged down to the turf.
Tell you, Mekhi Wilson, we talked about coming into the game fresh and having all this action. How about that composure, though, to let Islam fly by?
Yeah.
Because it really looked like, especially after he had that first touch, that was going to be trouble written all over it for UC Davis.
And for Davis now, it's a defender down. I think that's Hammond.
I think Hammond is, I see him, I think, walking up towards the 18.
Excuse me, it's Lapon. I saw the 2 and
Yeah.
got a little worried for the Aggies because Hammond has been everywhere on the pitch. Lapon, the redshirt sophomore forward, and it looks like it's just a cramp. He's
Oh, we sure hope so. You never tell when someone's grabbing the back of that hamstring.
walking off on his own power is a good sign, but you are right.
And for UC Davis, number 24, Josh Galt.
So Josh Galt comes in, a true freshman from the Central Coast area, more inland in Fresno.
Yeah, but I tell you, even if Lapon goes down, that's still a big hit for UC Davis. Even if he comes off the bench, he plays a lot of minutes for the Aggies. Had 31 in their last time out against Washington.
Look at this pass, straight forward, sprinting for it is Haggerty as it gets cleared out. Cardinal trying to get position, and they do before sending it out of bounds. Great defense just to keep it out of the attacking area of the Aggies, and Stanford can't believe the call is going against them.
Jeremy Gunn definitely working the officials right now. That's a good job by Stanford on that back end because it was a very aggressive, strong run by Haggerty trying to track that one down.
Galt's just off the bench, will throw it in. Aggies surround the box. It's Luke Goodman, trying to get positioning out towards the top. Thrown into the area, headed up and wide left. Schnebley didn't really make an effort at it, was just trying to stay square, stay home, in case the second chance were to come. Stanford will have a goal kick.
Really all he had is all but 2, or 3 I should say, including the thrower, of Aggie players that were inside the box. You saw the strong throw in.
Here comes Bohane. Down the right side, doubled from behind, tripped up, and a whistle will go the way of the Cardinal.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of fouls now on Zach Lillington. I think he's the one that got the whistle there once again. I don't think he necessarily liked the call, but again, from where we stood, it seemed like a pretty easy call to make.
Yeah, definitely. Bohane has had bodies on him the entire match. Here's a free kick for Alex Shao.
Again, to your point, if you weren't tuning in yet, there was an opportunity. It almost seemed like Zach Bohane was going to draw a penalty kick, and they went to review it, but Stanford didn't get the call there. He's been on the ground a good bit, but playing hard per usual.
Chow into the box. Header attempt popped up again. Skied over the back of the cage. Man, Stanford had heads everywhere and just couldn't get that final touch.
Yeah, I really thought from that first off, beautiful ball that was sent in, and I thought it was going to be Grunewald that was going to get that on that first attempt. Seemed like he had it timed up and squared away. And man, Stanford, some really good opportunities early on in the second half.
Both of these teams have been so much more aggressive on the offensive attack in the second half. Ball will go Stanford's way.
And I think if you're Stanford too, with this context, right, of obviously we're still very early on in this season, one of the things that usually might come together the latest amongst all facets of the game are those set pieces. And you've seen Stanford get a couple of good opportunities right now here in the second half. So pretty impressive to see, and you're only on game number 4.
Yeah, just the fact that they're getting opportunities out of those set pieces is something that Coach Gunn is going to be psyched about. Here's Naganathong entering the area, skies it in, headed out by the Cardinal back towards the top of the box. Deep attempt by Goodman goes wide left, but whistles are going to be blown.
Yeah, I think that went off of a Stanford defender as it went through. I saw some of the Aggie players were calling for it right away, and it looks like they're going to get the corner here.
It'll be Naganathong to attempt it.
Corner kick, UC Davis, number 10, Ian Nanton.
Everyone's set up right now for the Aggies, more so towards that back post.
Here it comes. Short kick goes back to Naganathong with no defenders on him. Skies it in towards the zone. Headed up. Keeper's out of the cage, and somehow Schnebly comes down with it.
Yeah, pretty interesting design there. I think it was Luke Goodman. You saw right before the corner kick took place, he snuck behind Schnebly to take a shorter corner, and then got it right back for that second ball in. And it looked like it went right off of the bicep of a UC Davis player.
I have no idea how Schnebly came out with that ball.
I don't either. And see, he's stretching out again. Remember, you pointed this out in the first half. There was at one point, I think it was before that hydration break, that he went down and stretched for a little bit. I saw him stretching there again. And let's keep an eye on that as you see him right here now, still doing it right on top of the box.
Hasn't looked totally comfortable today after the play is done. He looks great when the action's right on him, as here's a through pass that Wilson tracks down going to his right. So he's looked great when the play has been right in that 18-yard box, but outside of that, it's looked a little bit uncomfortable. Good positioning by the Aggies as they get the ball after the goal kick. So Davis, who dropped its first contest of the year against San Francisco and then played to a draw in its next two, is playing Stanford maybe the best it's played all season.
And again, like we talked about it earlier on, but when these two teams played last year, it was just a 1-0 victory for Stanford. So again, this is a UC Davis team that coming in, they're not going to be intimidated by the ranking or who Stanford's beaten already. So we talked about UC Davis just on their own right. One, they're a good team, but a lot of these players have experience of playing the Stanford team very toughly.
Long kick in towards the box for Naganathong. As clearing it out is Bohane. I think, there is value in guys having been here before, but I think to some extent there is a little bit of ignorance is bliss with the true freshmen that are playing for the first time against these Cardinal. You don't really know what it's like to lose against a top 5 team, and so you're here, right? You're here playing for the first time, and it's fun. You're fresh into your collegiate career, and you've got a chance to take down this elite program.
Oh, you make a good point, and I think, again, for UC Davis, they kind of get the benefit of both sides. They have a good opportunity here.
Back out towards the top of the key. Now circled out, streaking down the middle. Left-footed entry goes way, way wide right. It was Gavin House on the attack. One of those players who's played a lot over the last couple of years. And he was streaking down from his defender position.
And I think the big play to point out there, too, I want to say it was Jude Stone, just going off of the shoes that I saw, where they had that ball trying to go right to the top of the 18, and he just got a foot on it. And that kind of offset what Kason Goodman had set up there. It looked like with the ball that was coming to him, he wasn't really marked, and he was going to have a really easy look at it, but because of the deflection, it kind of took him off his spot a little bit. Really could have been the difference between a 1-0 game right now for UC Davis.
Bohane has it tackled away. It goes right back to Cleary. Cleary with the left, enters it in, circled out by the Aggies as sliding to try to get it was Chow. Is that what you go by? Do you go by shoes? Do you memorize shoes?
Well, sometimes if someone makes a really good play and they have the bright orange ones, right? It's like, okay, I remember when I saw that play. That's what I saw making it happen.
That's really smart. I haven't thought about that.
Tell you what, it's the best when you're watching the NBA or something.
Yeah.
Everyone's got the green or the purple and the pinks.
Cardinal will have a throw in. Going in towards the box. Popping out is Wilson. It's an empty cage, but Wilson's able to get 2 paws on it.
Yeah, he did a good job sticking with it. Wasn't a clean catch the first time around.
And you can see the difference in styles between Schwengler and Wilson. Wilson is so much more aggressive. He thinks that entire box is his, and I love that mentality where you're not just playing inside the 6 yards. You're playing the entire 18, and you're aggressive throughout. That is a great catch by a fan out there.
And then even maybe a better throw-in as well.
I think he's in the wrong side of the cage. What are we doing out there? I don't know if our cameras go that far out, but if somehow they do, or if somehow that fan is listening to us, I need your autograph. You're going places.
And then just 1 second, too, back to your point about Wilson. Obviously, as a goalie, you want to be a large presence in the goal, but you want to play even larger. And with what we've seen early on in his action tonight, that's exactly what he's been able to do.
Here come the Cardinal. It's Jude Stone, the freshman that you mentioned earlier, getting it out towards Pim. Deep on the left side. Circled in with the left. Bohane's got a chance. Second chance, no. Third chance rebounded out back into the area and swarmed on by Wilson. Man, Bohane, it was a little bit of a look what I found. I don't think he knew he had the ball.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Fletcher Bank, when he went up in the air, I think he fully expected Fletcher was going to be the one that had to play on it, so he was a little startled when it landed right there at his feet.
So just over 27 minutes to play, still scoreless. Look at Bohane playing the D as Naganathong trips up Will Cleary. And Stanford will take it. Now Naganathong is...
I think we might have a cramp here.
And the official is sending the trainer
That's exactly
back.
Why.
Which is a good sign.
Yeah, you saw Naganathong. He was even pointing, said, no, like push here, saying that you can get that stretch in the back side of his leg there with the hammies.
Cramps, bottom 3 thing in the world.
Oh, man. Still remember there was this high school football camp I once did. It was at back in Atlanta, and I think we got back to the dorms after practice number 2, so we're going to have another hydration break here. I just remember going up the stairs, one leg, boom, cramp. And as I'm going down, worried about that one. Other leg, boom, cramp. Just every muscle at once. And, yeah, it's like you said, man, it's definitely not a good feeling.
And Naganathong, this is an extended injury now. I do think it's still a cramp, and just by the way that the officials had it going, but they're going to call the hydration break, and Naganathong is going to get his own water treatment on the field.
This is a hydration.
Yeah, and there's been so many interesting developments that have been helping to help solve cramps and deal with them. You see so many teams, sometimes they'll have mustard bottles on sidelines. There's a pickle juice. Yeah, mustard.
Is that a thing?
That's a thing. I think one thing's really cool too here at Stanford. There was a professor back in the day. He was just observing wilderness, and he noticed that bears, when they get hot, right, that they put their paw, in the water, and because of all the veins and all the different systems that help that go right to your heart, so it helps cool down your body. So it's almost a glove that they actually have here, and it's on display. The Home of Champions is pretty awesome, where, again, if you have someone overheating, you're dealing with cramps, you have like a cooler-like system that's set up to this glove, and so you put your hand in, and that's what helps to kind of cool down your whole body temperature and help deal with cramps. It's pretty awesome.
That is so cool.
It's one of those things
Stanford
of like,
education,
exactly,
man.
that's exactly it.
That's kind of incredible. You just filled the whole water break talking about that. I would listen to you give a lecture. I mean, that's basically what this is, right? This is an hour and a half of people listening to us give a lecture to some extent.
I feel like to an extent that's the closest I've ever felt to having a Bill Walton moment ever in my life. Of course, the late, great Bill Walton.
Yeah.
And it's such a great job with college basketball throughout the years.
So just under 27 minutes left, and knotted at nothing. Cardinal have had some really good chances. Makai Wilson has done a phenomenal job in the cage for the second half. This one cleared out towards Taconi Diaz. Cleary. Oh, look at Alex Chow. You know, doing my prep for this game, I kept seeing Chow's rankings on the top drawer soccer
Yep.
charts, and it doesn't show up in his stats, but he's one of those guys that you cannot look at the stat sheet for what he does. You have to watch him play. He is incredible.
There's the phrase glue guy for so many different sports where you do so many of those little things that help connect everything, and that's what Chow does there. I think, there was a little tug of the jerseys was what he got called for, but again, we talked about it. He has been all over Kagan Stadium here tonight and just missed actually being on the connecting end on the far post cross there too.
It's a really good throw-in by the Cardinal. They've got a chance. They don't have the numbers advantage. They've got the positioning advantage as this one slides out past the far post. Yeah, I think for a while, glue guy almost had a little bit of a negative connotation to it, where it was like, you're just a role player. And now in this day and age of sports as a whole, where the bench player is getting so many more minutes in every single sport, that's a compliment. You want to be the glue guy.
They're so important. You think in so many sports, right, it's always so many conversations are about the top dollar players, but you can only have so many of those on a given team, where what really circles and what fully completes a team is everyone else, that they have their roles and they do it to the best of their abilities.
Here's Stone in towards the area, headed up over the cage. Stanford, it looked like wanted a handball called. That was a really beautiful kick by Stone.
It's really starting to get to that feeling. It's only a matter of time before Stanford gets his first one.
And I think if you're the Cardinal, that's the mentality that you have to have. It's a matter of time. You're going to get through it. Under 25 minutes to play here at Kagan. Ball being popped around by both squads. Now headed out by Cleary. Davis now has the ball in its attacking third.
Just reading Will's body language there, too. That's not exactly the direction where he was trying to head that. I think he wanted to put a little bit more forward instead of letting UC Davis reset once again.
Naganafong fighting for it, out on the boundary. Now Davis tussling for the ball. Naganafong tries to come away with it. He does. Gives it up to Goodman. Crosses into the box. Popped out by Lillington. Now Stanford's got an opportunity going the other way. Here comes Fletcher Bank, giving it up to Chow. Deep on the left side. And it looks like he'll just reset it.
Cleary again, making a run on this right side.
Keep your eye out. He feels like he's got a chance. Still scoreless. Stanford has outshot Davis, but only by 2. It's 9 shots for the Cardinal, who so far this year have averaged 22 shots a game. And that has not been the case today.
And to your point, it hasn't been, but again, with the play that's happened, I'd say in the last 10, 15 minutes, that looks more of a team that's going to get that 20-plus shots up.
Chow handling, gives it to Bohane, tic-tac-toe, back to Chow. Back in midfield. Stanford just feeling out the defense of the Aggies. Now Chow goes into go mode.
There you
Chow
go.
finds an entry. Allen misses wide right. Wilson did such a good job sprinting up on the attacking Allen. Forced that miss wide right.
Yeah, let's just hope that Tomo Allen is okay. Again, like you mentioned, great job being aggressive there by Wilson to send that away. Like, made some contact there with Tomo Allen and still slow to get up.
And what a incredible feed from Chow. Wilson, in his 20-plus minutes, has made an instant impact. And they're going to replay it.
But yeah, you talk about it again. Tomo Allen, how can you not be impressed with this very impressive freshman coming in. And I mean, you know, a Bay Area kid from Danville. That it's one of those things where, you know, Stanford's done such a good job of when you have that local talent, you find a way to make sure they stay close to home. And of all the different ways that you can see how he can attack, right? That's a great run right there. Almost had a chance to get the final touch to get it to score. You've seen him set up in the middle for some crosses with his size. I mean, so many different ways that he can attack you. And, of course, more than anything, it was good to see him get up and walk off during the challenge.
And we'll see what the call is after the replay. Davis will have a goal kick with Wilson.
Yep, Tomo Allen back up, walking around too. Good to see.
More beautiful scoring chances for the Cardinal. They just haven't been able to convert. See if they get a chance here as it's headed back towards the Cardinal again. Bank fighting for it as it's skied out of bounds by Goodman. But Stanford will take it in their defensive, or in their attacking third. Stanford coming off 3 straight wins, took down number 4 Denver here at home just a week ago. Now fighting against the Aggies as Bohane gets pushed out of bounds, but still no call, and it'll go to the Aggies. I thought I saw Bohane, it was like 2-hand touch on him.
Well, I'll tell you, I think that was a little bit of frustration. Now you see he's going to have a stern talking to on that one as well. He felt like there was a lot of physicality when he was dispossessed, and there was a good sense of contact. So he tried to dish it right back out, but that was not accepted there by the officiating crew here.
Just over 20 minutes to play. Free kick right to Bohane. Now to Allen. Lets it go in towards the 18. Here's Cleary at midfield. Cardinal opportunities have been better of late. They had a chance there, but it gets taken away by Davis, and now a whistle blows.
That's going to be a card.
I believe that'll be on Pim. Gonthong was on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, you see Davis, they had a chance there trying to get a give and go to really move forward down this near side, but you called it right there. Jack Pim just took him out when they was trying to get on that receiving end.
For the Cardinal, their 6th yellow card of the year. A little bit slower pace here in the last couple minutes. Aggies valuing their possessions late here in the second half. They know they've got a chance for a special upset. See what the Cardinal can do now with possession past midfield. It's Chow. Giving it up deep left side. Now attacking towards the top of the box. Swung in with the left, crossed over, and it goes over the head of the Aggies.
So look at this run by Gonthong further up ahead.
And look at the way it's cut off by Taconi Gradias. Echo against Gonthong.
Yes, it did. And I tell you what, it was a good effort there by Ian once again for UC Davis. They're trying to get it back. And so just a little too aggressive on that one.
Now Cleary sends it right to Wilson, and he immediately has his hand up. Sorry about that, guys. That's on me.
The thing I just saw Gonthong over here, too, he was signaling for a substitution as he went back down. I think that hammy might be bothering him a little bit again.
Ball in the midfield. Goes out of bounds, and Stanford will take over. .19 to play here at Kagan. Davis looking for a big-time upset. You can't say they'd be happy with the draw, but I think you'd be pretty proud of how your team competed if you're Paul Schaefer. Stanford's got an opportunity in towards the box, headed up by the Aggies as it gets sent out towards midfield. Hammond will send it very long.
You have a substitution here coming for UC Davis.
'71st minute. Still no score. Naganathong is out as Declan Horio comes in. He's kind of a spark plug off the bench. Had 3 goals, 2 assists last year. So yeah, you can put the ball in the net.
You heard an ovation, too, from some of the Aggie fans that are here for their number 10 going off. Again, just absolutely phenomenal effort. And hopefully whatever was going on and nagging his hamstring, it is just a cramp and it will be okay.
Ball goes past Bank out on the left flank. 17.5 minutes to play, no score. It's just been such an evenly played match. Davis, like we mentioned, came in with really nothing to lose, and they've played just like that. They've played super free after the first 10 to 15 minutes of play went all Stanford's way. The Aggies settled down and have played really well. Ball headed around in Stanford's third, out towards Bohane. He's got an angle, and he's offside.
I was just about to say, too, UC Davis, though, they have to be careful. Stanford is being very aggressive with trying to play forward. And you almost saw it with Tomo Allen scoring. And when that ball, even on this 50-50 situation, Stanford's trying to play it forward to get that one open opportunity. Almost seems like that was one of the big coaching points at halftime from when they came out the locker room.
Under 17 now to play. Ball skied away out of the area. Good positioning by the Aggies offensively as it goes over towards Bank. Headed to Chow on the outside, trying to save it from going out of bounds. He does, and it goes right back towards the Aggies. Bohane looking through for Bank. Goes out of bounds on the right side.
They're hunting for it now.
It'll stay with the Cardinal. Here's Bohane with the throw-in. Getting it back near the corner. Bohane skied into the box, looking for a header. Wilson leaves the cage and then comes away with the ball. Man, he is so aggressive leaving that keeper position. He leaves the cage wide open, but he has so much trust in his hands.
He does, but I tell you what, that's 2 balls now that have come in, and he hasn't been able to catch them cleanly. And again, Stanford's lurking right around him right now, so if he isn't careful and try to get those clean catches, it could be an easy opportunity for Stanford.
The Aggies might have had someone offside, but no whistle was called, and the Aggies take over on a Stanford scoring chance. Stanford just looks a little dejected right now. Both squads starting to feel it here as we get really late into this one, approaching the 75th minute. A little bit sloppy over the last couple possessions for both teams.
Well, you talk about the dejection for Stanford, and I think, again, you know you only have a finite amount of really good opportunities to score, and Stanford's definitely had their fair chances, especially as of late.
Cleary into Bohane. Around the corner, circling left, gives it back to Cleary.
That's a good
Here's
ball.
A chance for Stanford on a good ball. Back out towards the top. Into the area, poked out again. Now Stanford will reset. Left-footed chip shot goes back out. Somehow the Cardinals slip through. Left-footed shot! Got it! Jude Stone with the left gives the Cardinal the lead.
You want to talk about earning it? How many different deflections did you see while Jude Stone had that in possession? still dribbles through everything, gets it back on his left foot, and buries it in the back corner. He earned every single bit of that goal.
Not a bad time for the first of your career. It's 1-0 Cardinal here in the 75th minute.
Yeah, what a way to have your first goal. You were deadlocked, a little bit under 15 minutes left to go in regulation. We just talked about it. Stanford had all these great chances. And, well, you know what? Who needs a team to create one? Well, you can just do it yourself.
Hey Jude playing through Kagan. Hey Jude, you made the Cardinal feel better. 1-0. Stanford leads.
I see a lot of UC Davis right now. They're trying to call for a review here. And I think they're going to get it.
Previous play is under review.
Not quite sure what they could be reviewing at this point. And I don't know. What do you got? I didn't see anything.
It's a good question here, and we'll know more in just a second.
As it stands, Jude Stone, the first, and it
confirmed.
does stand, was a pretty quick review if there even was one. So Jude Stone, his first collegiate goal. A guy that's probably a little more familiar with the Northern California area, from Santa Rosa, but here on the farm, goal number 1.
I tell you what, all that hard work that he had to do to get that goal, it just wouldn't feel right if it got taken away from him in any kind of a review. Well, Austin, here we are. This is exactly how we saw the matchup between these two last year in 1-0.
Right. And now Davis feels like with 15 minutes left, they've got to push. And they do, but Stanford's able to head it away. Chow fighting for it, gets it out with the left, and Davis will take over around midfield.
One thing to note, too, I don't think I've seen Saul tackle at all in the second half. Hopefully everything there okay with him.
Good catch. He played a lot early on, and that's kind of what we've seen from him. He's played under 100 minutes, even though he started 2 games this year.
Again, just to that point, you know, as talented of a player as he is, I know, you know, still early on in the season, but you think before you get to the middle and then towards the end part of the season that those minutes are going to be stretched out a little bit more for him.
Davis will take a corner. This is a huge chance for the Aggies. It'll be Declan Horio to take it. Had 2 assists last year. Into the box. Now headed out. Fighting for it on the outside. Shot away, poked out, and then it goes towards midfield. A great job by the Stanford defense. No fly zone, says Alex Chow.
Yeah, Luke Goodman had something to say, too, as he was going right back down to set back up. I think what happened there, I think you say maybe he was pulled down, because I did see him go down, maybe one other Aggie player right in front of goal. But again, to no avail.
Really good positioning from the Aggies. So they've got the ball around midfield. Lillington will reset it back to Wilson. Cardinal with a 1-0 lead after the goal by Jude Stone. Intercepted away by the Cardinals. See if they can get some insurance. Bohane taps it back. Good ball. He's able to find Stone again. Here's the freshman Stone. Back out towards Bohane.
Ooh.
Pim in the middle. There's Bohane. Through pass. Here it comes. No whistle.
Seems like one of those situations, both teams, you're kind of looking up, hoping that you get a call, and now you got a player down for UC Davis. Again, a lot of contacts right there in front of goal with Fletcher Bank. And I can't see exactly who that is down right now for UC Davis, but a lot of contact on the result, on the finishing end of that ball in.
Stanford wanted the replay. You could see Fletcher Bank doing the box motion.
That's Gavin House, who's down for UC Davis.
"12 minutes to play.
You've seen Stanford start to open up a lot of space in the middle to get those finishing runs.
Another goal kick. See if the Aggies can make anything out of it. Good defense by the Cardinal to keep it out of the box. Here's Lillington. Under 12 to play. Cardinal are able to intercept it. Looking for it is Bank, and he gets it taken away. A little more tussling around midfield, and a whistle will be called against the Cardinal. They can't believe it.
Yeah, I think that was on Pim, but I tell you what, initially, early on, pretty good effort there by Bank and Chow defensively. And they're just moments where Stanford, both as a collective group and also individually, they can absolutely pester you when you're on the ball.
Just over 10 minutes to play. Ball on the far side for the Aggies. Dancing. Now they enter the area, and a whistle.
Yeah, too strong of a touch before that ball was sent in. So we're going to get the goal kick here coming for Stanford.
10:30 to play. Stanford leads 1-0. Jude Stone's first career goal, the difference. Stanford will make a couple substitutions. Shane DeFlores comes in. Joshua Partal comes in.
Like Jude Stone and I think Tomo Allen were the two that came off.
So you're subbing out a couple freshmen for at least one more experienced player, and then Partal, the other true freshman. Schnebley sends it down the middle. Chow had it poked away. Now Haggerty's got it. Out towards the right side. Aggies looking for some magic in the final 10 minutes. Galt, a through pass on the right side. Swung back out to the top.
Again, got to credit the Stanford defense for this reset.
Just relentless defensive pressure from the Cardinal. And they get the ball back because of it.
They might have some numbers forward.
DeFlores knocks it over to Chow on the left side. Chow looking for positioning, has Bank. Bank going forward. Bank poked out. Now here comes the second chance. Backed out to the top. Man, a perfect scoring opportunity, and you had it in the foot of Zach Bohane. Just couldn't make anything out of it. And the Aggies will get possession. Or will they? Here comes Bohane out to the corner.
What hustle.
Partal swings one in, headed up by Chow as it goes over his head and out towards the right angle. Man, Stanford had such a perfect opportunity with their leading scorer, and Bohane had it blocked.
That was just unfortunate luck there by Bohane. You talked about it. He put a strike on that, and it found a head of an Aggie defender. I think without that, you might have been looking at a 2-0 game right now, but another Stanford player down right now.
Can't quite tell who it is. With just under 9 minutes to play, Cardinal lead 1-0. Cardinal out shooting the Aggies, but just by 4. It's been pretty even. Corners even, saves even. The only difference is Stanford's converted on one of its shots on goal.
Yeah, both of these teams, we talked about how this game felt like, just based off the first 10 minutes of the second half, that it would open up. And when you look at it, it was 5-2 in terms of shots. 5 for Stanford, 2 by UC Davis in that first half. And now as we stand, 7 shots now for Stanford in the second half and 6 for the Aggies.
It'll be Bank with a free kick just in front of the midfield stripe. Under 9 to play.
And for UC Davis, number 9, Chase Tannen. And number 22, Kalen Kellett.
Couple subs for the Aggies. Tannen and Kellett come in. Cardinal continue to fight for the ball. Back out towards the top. Swinging forward, back out above the 18. Headed up. Still trying to be cleared. Now it is. And here's a chance. Down the left side. Beautiful defensive play coming out of nowhere is Taconi Gradias to soar it out of bounds. Eight to play now. Aggies trail by 1. Lillington in towards the box. Chested up. Now sent out right side. Opportunity.
Oh,
what a block by Schnebley! Where did he come from?
Is this just what we're going to have to talk about the last 10 minutes of a game being for Stanford at it's Schnebley time? Again, we talk about it. He makes these big saves in big minutes. And you have a Stanford player down, but also, once again, as you have downtime to check on the injury, you see Schnebley, he's down right now, right at the crease of the goal.
Maybe this is part of the whole, like, Batman effect, is he just goes and hangs out when he's not playing and then comes out of nowhere when the ball's in the 18.
It's like you flash the signal out into the sky, and that's when he's going to show up.
Just like on the other side for Stanford, that was a terrific opportunity for the Aggies with bodies everywhere. And still, Schnebley is able to come out and get up and block it out.
He's getting up slowly there, but now up to his feet. Seems like he's okay. I think he just even waved to the bench, say, no, don't bring anybody in. I'm good. Palmer Bank is, I believe who was the Cardinal that was down. He's back on his feet as well. It's been a very physical game tonight between both of these two teams.
And the Aggies will have a corner.
It looks like Palmer Bank actually is coming off.
And for Stanford, number 29, Takashi Sasaki.
And Takashi Sasaki just came on too for Bank.
It's an outswinging kick from Davis. In towards the area, headed back out.
There's
No
that
defense
ball.
deep on the right side. Second ball, here's another chance. Headed up, Schnebley. You know he's going to be there. That one not as hard as the first one, but he's got 2 saves in this match, and they've both come at beautiful times. Speaking of a prime chance,
goodness.
Here come the card. Second goal, not yet, as it's popped out by Wilson.
Most of this half, we've seen Wilson be very aggressive when he comes off of his line to make plays like that. But this time he decides to stay back, but a good reaction with the hand save.
Pim stops. Gives it to Bohane. Give and go back on the right side. Here's Cleary. Slows it down. Cleary now has it tackled away. Good defense by the Aggies, under 7 to play. See if Bohane can get it back. He tries to as it's skied towards midfield.
It's a pretty good ball.
And a better header over towards the attacking third, but it's cleared out by the Cardinal. And the Aggies will take over by the Stanford bench.
Yeah, UC Davis, I tell you what, they're going for it right now. You saw Stanford was almost able to take advantage of it and hit him with the quick counter.
Under 6.5 for the Aggies. Needing at least one. They've got possession as it's knocked into the box, then sent out. Aggies get possession back out on the far side. Just peppering it around the back third. And they'll reset it with House. Good job by the Stanford defense to send it away as Schnebley will knock this one down to the left of the cage.
Yeah, Gavin House, he wasn't too happy with his effort there. But I tell you, Stanford's doing such a good job, too. Of you see how they're really, for longer periods of time, they are just holding UC Davis to one side of the field. There's no chance to switch it over, get a good ball in. They have to reset it through the back line, and that's just wasting more time off the clock.
Wilson comes out to get it again. He's been really good. Even in the goal that he allowed, it was what felt like the 12th chance for the Cardinal on that possession alone. This one, though, goes into the 15th row, and the fan that tried to catch that one didn't have as stellar luck or as stellar of a throw as the fan before. 5 to play here in this one. Stanford with possession looking for a dagger. Can we get a catch this time? Yeah, sure. Third time's a charm.
I'll tell you what, you better have some active and ready hands.
Takashi Sasaki back out. Played a couple minutes.
And for Stanford, number 3, Palmer.
Yeah, Palmer Bank coming back.
It's a big re-addition to the Stanford defense in the final 5 of this one. Here's his brother Fletcher Bank, who was knocked out of bounds, but no call.
Yeah, some pretty strong contact there. It looked like for a minute, though, that Fletcher was going to be able to send one back towards the middle, but just couldn't get a good swing on it.
Cardinal lead by 1, 4.5 to play. Here come the Aggies. Trying to corral possession in their third. Stanford does a good job to send it towards midfield. Here's Horio. Trying to cross it in towards the box out around the 18 as it gets spun back towards the top. And a foul goes on Davis. Late whistle with 3.5 to play.
And you know that's a tough one to take there if you're UC Davis. I think with what happened, it seemed like Leo's number 9, Chase Tannen, that was over there. He's trying to get a spin and get onto that ball. And I think he actually got the top of the foot of one of the Stanford players is where you got the foul coming in.
Liam Doyle will come in for the final 3.5 minutes of this one, 3:47 to be exact. Davis, all of a sudden the shots are coming. They just haven't been able to make anything out of them. One huge save by Rowan Schnebley. The Cardinal have won the last 2 matches against this Davis squad. The last time that Davis won was all the way back in 2005, which sounds probably a little worse than it actually is, but that's the last time the Aggies scored a goal against the Cardinal. They've long been this defensive powerhouse, but when you've only played 3 times, it's a little more excusable. Here come the Aggies again. A diving header by the Cardinal. Good defense there by Taconi Gradias.
So he's made a couple of really impressive defensive plays on that back line for Stanford tonight.
See if the Cardinal can get an offensive dagger. Chow ahead to Doyle, out on the right angle, tracks it down, and then gets knocked to the turf. Here comes a whistle.
And Doyle seems to be okay.
Just over 3 to play.
Ron Schnebley coming up now. He's almost towards the center circle, barking out commands. I think I haven't heard him say get up a couple times.
Yeah. Out towards midfield. Both teams fighting for possession. Here comes Bank. Has it stripped away. And sent back towards the Cardinal bench. And they're going to call that foul on Davis. Just over 2 to play.
You see, there's been a couple of occasions in the second half, some of that frustration from the UC Davis players with, I think from their point of view, maybe what's been allowed and hasn't been allowed in terms of physicality from both sides.
2 minutes to play. Schnebley sends it past midfield. Headed up by the Aggies, now cleared out by the Cardinal. Bank heads it back towards Stanford's attacking third, where Wilson will pop out of the cage to come get it. Just over a minute and a half to play. Cardinal trying to improve to 4-0, and they're about a minute 15 away from doing so. Down the left side, here's Horio. Circling right. He's got space. With the left, Horio swings it in towards the cage. Cardinal are able to pop it out. Back to the top for Banks. Another good opportunity. Now with a minute to play for the Cardinal and the Aggies. Here comes Kellett, the freshman, in towards the box. Kellett has it swung out by the Cardinal.
Good job, Fletcher. Bank showing off that strength.
And he's just going to touch it forward, see if he can outrun his defender. Doesn't matter. It's going to go back to Wilson with 40 seconds to play. Aggies need a miracle. Now 30, and they'll reset it with Wilson again. Cardinal feel like they're putting the finishing touches on this one.
We have seen some last-second magic here at Kagan the last few years.
No kidding. Here's Kellett. Poked out. Back towards the top.
10,
The Cardinals send it back towards midfield. They're going to need a miracle.
6, 5,
Here's the Hail Mary.
3,
Not close. With 2 seconds on the clock, it's knocked out of bounds, and Stanford takes this one 1-0 final.
What a hard-fought game all throughout from start to finish. You see